Hello, this is Dragon Tame 1400, and this is All Grown Up Season 3, Episode 3 review. The name of the episode is You Gotta Go. Let me say this episode was pretty good overall. There's some mistakes in there, and I'll get into that later. However, I really do enjoy the plot of this episode. Basically, what we got is Chucky. He wants some You Gotta Go cards because everyone else is playing them. However, he already took advancement on his allowance. His dad won't give him enough money to buy the You Gotta Go cards because of that. So instead, he gives him his stamp collection, and Chucky's kind of like, well, that's not what I wanted, and whatever, I'll take it, but I don't want it. Now the side plot is dealing with Angelica as she racked up this huge cell phone bill, and her mom took away her cell phone until she completed a week's worth of chores. So basically what ends up happening is Angelica sees Chucky kind of down, and she's down as well because she doesn't have a cell phone. So she ends up talking to him, and she has this bright idea. Oh, Chucky, you can do my chores and I'll give You Gotta Go cards, because her mom is actually distributing the You Gotta Go cards, so she's got a ton of them. So this ends up working good for Angelica. She ends up getting her phone back early because of the well done she did, or really Chucky did. Chucky ends up getting addicted to You Gotta Go cards. He needs more. He really likes to rush. Now, I really like this episode as it's kind of dealing with addictions of all kinds, drug addictions, anything like that, and how it can really control your life. And that's what we see here. You Gotta Go cards are controlling Chucky's life. He just ends up giving his stamps away to get the card he wants, even though he ends up not getting it. And then he sees himself, he sees a reflection of himself, and he realizes how far he's fallen. His glasses are kind of out of focus, and he looks a mess. Now his friends are trying to help him. They're kind of sort of having intervention. They're trying to stop him from giving away his dad's stamp collection for You Gotta Go cards. So basically, he gives them away. Angelica ends up helping him, kind of for selfish reasons, because Chucky ended up reading her diary, and she doesn't want it to be shown against the world. But Angelica gets it back. We can actually see Angelica in this form of authority, sort of like her mom. She almost copies her mom, what she says earlier, word for word, which was actually really good to see. That is a trait of Angelica I see in her. She could be a good businesswoman. She could be a good debater. And there's a few good things. She could be a great politician too. She likes to lie. She likes to play so. There's a lot of good traits in Angelica, but there's also a lot of bad traits in Angelica too, and that's what makes her character so great. Now, Chucky actually learns a really good lesson about addiction, and I think we should all learn it, that one thing should not rule our whole life, no matter what it is. I mean, of course, from a Christian perspective, unless it's God. However, that being aside, this episode obviously was a parallel to someone's addiction to drugs, how it can really ruin their life. And I think that's a really good lesson that we all have to learn, that one, do not do drugs. Two, do not let any one thing just rule your whole life like that, video games, anything. And that's what was happening to Chucky. He needed that thrill from You Gotta Go cards. So really good character development from Chucky's point of view. He learned a lot. This episode sort of reminded me of Project Chucky with Angelica and Chucky, and how Chucky realized that he didn't have to be popular, that he could be popular, but he didn't want to be. And as I said before, Angelica and Chucky are the two most developed characters in this series from my perspective, from what I've seen. And this episode kind of shows it. They both have very complex personalities. So another thing I really liked was that Chucky's friends stood by him and really tried not to get him, especially Tommy and Kimmy. It was really good to see them kind of really try to prevent him from leaving the room to sell the stamp collection. Kimmy kind of screwed up and mentioned the stamp collection, and right away she realized it was a mistake. So I think they could have developed Angelica's character a little better here. I think the fact that she did it kind of for selfish reasons is kind of a backslide on her character, because her character has been kind of getting better throughout this series, but this episode kind of drops it down a little bit. It was the same kind of with Project Chucky. Like, she didn't really learn a lesson from it. And this episode, she didn't really learn a lesson either, even though the lesson was right in front of her again. Goes to show you, Angelica doesn't pay attention that well. And another negative for it, though the visuals are really good on the You Gotta Go parts, the audio didn't, at least for me, and when I'm watching on Amazon, the audio didn't seem to line up, but the other parts of the audio lined up perfectly. So it might, I don't know if those scenes are just my video, but for some reason the audio didn't line up. Who knows? Overall, this was a great episode. I mean, it has some downsides, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, Angelica should have learned a lesson again, and she didn't, and the whole audio kind of not lining up properly for the You Gotta Go parts. But other than that, it was a great episode, so 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. See you guys in the next one. Bye.